You're buying a bag for the wedding planner?
Yeah, bro. I mean,
Why? Aren't you paying her already?
Exactly.
Then what the fuck are you doing?
Because I don't argue, bro. You pick your battles, right?
Welcome back, everybody. This is the FLEXCAST. I don't even know what number we're on. 33, 4, I don't know, 2 maybe. And we don't have Steve. He couldn't make it today. However, we do have Dani. This is Dani Friedman of Butler Tire. Welcome, Dani. And, of course, we have Harry.
What's up?
Yeah, and me,
Claim
Haas.
to fame, right?
Yeah, so Dani came in to sub for Steve, thankfully. Thank you, Dani, for making the quick
It's my pleasure.
change in your plans.
Nice afternoon with the boys.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of people that we can call to say, hey, it's Tuesday at 1:15 p.m. What are you doing? You want to come hang out? Smoke a cigar, get on a podcast?
I mean, I claim that it's working. I mean, technically it is working, right?
Well, I guess for you it is.
Yeah, I mean, my phone's
We
still
have
ringing.
no revenue here.
Yeah,
so.
there's no revenue. This is just for fun. But although, speaking of revenue, there were a lot of so Harry and I just did a video which Dani called me and
Loved it.
He laughed at it last night. But Harry released a video of us basically going in on this big Tesla trade. So if you haven't seen it, I'll link it here at the top. But check out the video where Harry and I basically bought a Tesla for about $20,000. And we bought it so we could trade it for $20,000 in credit in sneakers that this guy, Isaiah Photo, has. And he ended up making a mystery box for Harry and me to open. And we filmed it here. We opened it up. No spoilers, but somebody was very happy with the result and somebody wasn't. So
That was epic to watch, though, because the elevation from excitement all the way down to the bottom was pretty epic to watch.
yeah. So anyway, there were a lot of comments that were like, "Hey, it's not too bad. Harry should share the revenue." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea."
So you guys went. Are we discussing details? Or?
Sure. Yeah.
So
I mean, if
guys-
you haven't seen it, go watch it now, then come back and listen or watch the rest of
And
FLEXCAST.
a lot of people are saying it's my best video, so it's entertaining.
Like a lot, which is very cool because it's.
I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to insult you. Because there are a lot of
Is
videos.
that offensive or
No, it's not. I think it's one of my best.
because like you're getting better, right?
Yeah.
And you put in a
Well, it's
lot of
not
editing
even-
time to
It's
that.
not even
one.
getting better. It's just a different format. I just have a format that works, and so I use that. But this one, I was like, I'm going to make it a little bit different. Try something else.
So it's less
Make it
getting
more
better
fun.
than it is just like trying new things.
And it's more fun to edit something new rather than the same old in my room doing the same thing
How long you been editing for?
since high school. So
So like 2 years ago.
probably almost 9-10 years now. Like
Yeah, it gets
on a serious
repetitive.
programming.
Yeah.
But before I tried like stupid programs before, but 10 years now probably, yeah. So
It gets repetitive. I loved. I mean, you guys went straight 50-50 on that, right?
yep.
Yeah.
And so
9,700.
realistic.
Well, we went in straight 50-50. We came out not 50-50.
So there was no discussion like, hey, if one of us loses out more than the other.
No, that's the fun, man. That's the
We don't do
fun.
that.
No,
Yeah.
because also
Ballsy.
everything we do, even Harry by himself when he's in his room does mystery box. It's all authentic. He doesn't like know what's happening and then pretend like there's a reaction. Like and sometimes it's like he gets excited about something and nothing happens. So he puts that in the video. It's all authentic. So
Yeah.
we kept it legit. Like, you know, Isaiah coming. We saw a few of the shoes that would be a part of it, but
We
all of
showed
it
that
was
on camera.
Yeah, but all of it is random, and that was my idea to make it fair and to have some risk because I wanted to risk everything. And you can see at the end of the video, I'm begging Harrison to like, let's do one last rock paper scissors for $20,000. He did not accept, by the way.
I don't know. I'd be the same as Harry. I'd walk away from it.
Well,
I'm
think
not a
it made-
gambler.
It made the video better seeing what we were wanting for the shoes, I think.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have had the same reaction if we didn't know at first what was coming.
Yeah, knowing what the big wins would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys saw the big.
We saw four.
biggest.
We saw 4 of the shoes of the 23, so we didn't see 19 of them.
Okay.
So we knew like what the stakes were, right? In one shoe, how big it could change. And Harry got all the hype shoes except for one.
I have a question though. What do you have against Yeezys? Because every time
I have Yeezys.
Yeezys don't fit me, my foot. I have weird feet, and they're too tight on me, so I can't wear them. And so I don't like. I have the original Yeezy 350s. It's like my all-time one of my favorite shoes. I don't wear them just because they just don't fit right. So it's
Can I tell you? I have the same thing with the 350. First of all, I think it's the most diluted shoe out
Of
there,
course.
you know,
The
and
V2,
before
yeah.
when you saw them, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But
And what
now,
are these? The 7 something?
I don't even know, man.
The V3
V3,
Yeah.
whatever.
But the 350s
or
as
those
well.
are 580s. I don't even.
Five,
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't even know at this
That's
point.
one of the
You
numbers.
cut out my elephantitis comment on that.
Yeah, because I looked it up and I realized what it was. And I was like,
You
dude,
didn't know that?
I
said it in a previous
realize,
video.
dude. I know you did. And then I was like, wait, he's talking about this? And I was like, that's not nice for people who have that. Might
Just stand up and, go over there. He spilled it himself. There's an ashtray here, Danny. Danny's a fellow cigar aficionado. He actually brought me this stick, so thanks, Danny.
also ran out because he's out of money from the last video.
That's it. I am out of everything.
Hey, you actually owed me $50 still from when he gave them the cash back, but I'll let you keep that because of the video.
What cash back?
When he gave $500 back and you gave me $200. And
Oh, that's true. I owed you.
I don't care, but
Thanks.
Actually, we sold all. So I did a website drop last night. Hoss told me to do it because it's prime opportunity, and the website sold out in 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Which is every
So
time.
all the shoes sold.
which was
all
about
of them.
$20,000.
Did you make your money back?
It's about 20,000 shoes. No, he didn't. I probably made back
90%, 80%.
Yeah, I didn't. I probably still was in the negative from selling because the
Right.
prices.
Because the
that
prices were insane.
they marked them up because it's Los Angeles. Los Angeles can charge.
It's LA, and it was a retail store that sells at resale. Sells other shoes at resale prices.
So when the store comes up with the price, do they look at websites like StockX?
They look at
and-
StockX and add on top because in the add on top,
In
one, there's
addition
all the
to-
fees. Yeah.
Yeah.
They add because of the convenience fee because you have to wait 2 weeks and then you're trusting in the store's reputation to have an authentic shoe, whereas it could come from StockX fake. Now I would say 99.99% of the time it won't be, but there's that chance. But
Ask
there's still that chance that
Blake Yarbrough about that 0.1%
exactly.
time.
But it's still it's the convenience feature, and then people are more willing to make impulse decisions in person, like especially in Los
Absolutely.
Angeles when you're on vacation, going at these hype stores. You're like, oh, I'm gonna make a decision. I'm gonna just buy it. It's like my website. I sell stuff below StockX price, so it moves, and that I'm not gonna wait 3 weeks to sell a shoe.
Well, if
I
it
want to
moved-
sell in
to make $10.
10 minutes.
I mean, if it moved in 4 hours, maybe we should have had higher prices, Harry.
we
I'll tell
could
you,
have.
I can't tell you how many
Definitely
times
could've.
I'm on there, and I think that StockX is completely misleading. But you get on there and it's like, oh, 240, and then you see it in your size, then it's 340. By the time you purchase it, you're paying $500 for the shoe.
Yeah, plus fees.
I can't imagine.
But they show you the lowest price of all the sizes.
Exactly, of
right?
course. And I mean,
Yeah.
I can't imagine how many abandoned carts these guys must have, because it must happen more often than actually people going through with the purchase.
I mean, they know. They see their metrics.
Yeah,
and,
of course
and it's
they do.
obviously fine. They're doing all right.
I made a video on it actually because I bought a shoe from each app to kind of review the process of each of them, and that was kind of like my gripe with StockX was that
Sorry. Just sitting right here next to him.
I said before the video is going to be smoked out. It's like, I'm used to it.
and StockX says there's 3-step process, and you don't see your final price to the end. They don't add the taxes, which they have to charge, but they don't add it to the end, so you don't know how much you're paying. Which if you're buying $1,000 shoe, that can be another, $80-$90 added onto your shoe. So
And then it's made it less attractive to even sell on there, because I used to buy everything. Anything that came out, I would try and get. And then there was a period there where I hit every single thing. And when you start selling, you're making $20-$30
yeah.
of profit. I mean, yeah, okay, you're recouping your money, and if it's a
It's not worth the effort.
it really isn't. So now I just enter. Look, I'm going through an L streak, and we were talking about it. I think for like 8 or 9 months, I don't think I've won anything.
Dude, he only won in like the last 2 years. It was recent, like 2 weeks ago, right?
And if
And
I
I
do
enter,
win,
like, every drop.
the
Yeah.
only thing I win is anything that nobody wants. So
Like when I won, which was the fives. It was just like what?
But I mean,
were
if
those
you
the green
hold-
and red ones?
the green, yellow, red.
red.
Yeah, the
Oh.
one. They're two different shoes.
Did you return them?
I did.
And that's the thing. That's why everybody does it, because you can
You can
return
still
it. So
return
if they
them,
don't
yeah.
sell well, then just return it. So
Makes sense.
I don't know. There's been these hacks apparently to not hacks, but like tricks to do better in the app. But I mean, I don't know. I just at this point I don't even try. But if you hold on to shoes, they most likely will go up. Like those turbo.
Not
green,
all of them. Not all of them.
Turbo green ones. Those now are like $800.
I have those, and I actually, there's one of the pairs that I won, and when I got them, I'm like, I actually really like them, and I never ever wore them. They're just sitting on the shelf at home, and then like recently I started looking, I'm like, holy shit, like I got a serious pair over here. So, I mean, I think that when you get to a stage, and you're probably the same, you got dailies that you wear, and then you just got ones that you think are dope that that you just keep on the shelf.
I kind of wear everything because, I don't give
You
a
don't
shit.
have any DSs?
I don't give, no, hell no.
Wow.
Well, you guys might not be able to tell, but Danny is into sneakers.
So I was gonna say, Danny is a hype beast.
Sorry.
Outside
No,
of what-
I'm definitely not a hype
But
beast.
outside of what he does with work, he is into sneakers and whatnot as well.
Well,
So
let's
that's
talk
why
about
he's
that.
able
So,
to talk.
so we've talked about Danny a lot and Butler Tire.
Which I appreciate. I you guys,
Well, I mean,
wherever you go, people probably think like, hey man, how much is Butler paying these
well,
guys?
we went to the track and we happened because Harry and I now need to start coordinating, but we have a lot of some of the same things, and we happen to go to the track on our track day with Harry's Porsche and my Ferrari, wearing the same exact Butler Tire hoodie. So it looked like we were a sponsored Butler Tire team. Which, by the way, maybe we should do that.
Throw some
I'll
logos
send
on
it
the
up the
car.
ladder.
Slot some logos and the size of the cars. I mean, our cars get photographed quite a bit. I mean, mine does.
At the track, mine will.
Maybe your new car will.
Harry got to a point where his car got so photographed he sold it.
Yeah, that's
He's like,
true.
this
And
is
then I
just too
still
much
got
for me.
The
the
attention.
Then it got TikToked and put all over the
It
internet.
went viral without him, but he was like fine, like good.
People
good
still
riddance.
think it's me though.
Yeah,
all
that's
the
true.
comments were
Because on
me.
the internet, it's your car.
But I only had it for a month like that.
Yeah, that's
crazy
true.
thing.
And I was sad because when I got
think
mine,
that,
it didn't match.
I mean, I was stoked to see it finished, and I know with you guys, it's like you start with one thing and then you have this need to get to a certain point within a car, and then when it was finally
you gotta
done,
find the next project.
Yeah, because I remember meeting you the first time, and we spoke about your wheels
R8.
on the R8.
Yeah.
And to see it get to that point, and then all of a sudden it's sold, and then the same thing with the GT3. I'm like a week later, I'm like,
Well, the R8, I
on,
had
bro.
the wheels on for. I had
I had
that.
him for months.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had it for a good period, and then
Like for him, that's really long time.
yeah, I owned that car for like a little over a year.
Yeah, I think he had
but
the wheels for like what, 9 months, 8 months.
probably. Yeah, I had it a fairly decent time. Which see, I don't try to when I finish sell it, but the Lambo just so happened, and the GT3 was just like I should have just gone RS in the beginning, but it's just what can you do?
You live and learn.
Because I didn't want to do a deal over the. People don't even know that I got rid of the GT3, but I'm the one that doesn't. I don't like to wait to get a car, so like I found a deal locally. I was like, this makes sense, and then
Well, have we talked about it on the FLEXCast?
I haven't, but the reason why
my
I
bad.
don't.
No, it's okay. We just haven't gotten to it yet.
But the reason why I don't like to buy overseas is because what I'm dealing with now. I bought the car 2 weeks ago and I still don't even have it. It's like
Yeah.
a pain in the- I already put
It's
all
a
the money out.
transportation is it's the worst, man, and it's
Well,
exactly
the
like-
motherfuckers doing it didn't really get it done until like last week, and this was weeks ago that he signed the papers.
my last
So there's
car
that.
I bought from Coral Gables in Florida.
Yeah.
And I was telling
used to live
Harry.
there.
Yeah, they picked it up at 4 p.m. on like a Tuesday, and it was at my house at 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning.
What?
Yeah, dude drove right through the night. But
Well, that's
the
technically
dealers-
illegal, but they get away with it if the regulations say you can't do that.
Depends
For
who you
commercial
talk to, yeah.
commercial truck driving licenses, you
Yeah,
can't do that.
and-
But it could have been a guy with a trailer.
Yeah, I mean,
Single
that's-
trailer.
But they're only supposed to use licensed and insured,
No, I found so. This is what
authentic.
happened.
Unless
that-
it's a buddy of yours who just
Yeah,
fucking did
the
it.
guy at the dealership. My car was at an Infinity dealership, and I guess it was a little bit higher caliber than what they used to.
This is the Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so whenever like we had done all the paperwork, and then it was still like 2-3 days since I heard from them, and I'm like, I've paid for the car.
What the hell?
We've done all the paperwork. Like
Basically
release
the
the
same
car,
thing.
and they're like, well, it's a very expensive car. And are you sure about these transporters? And I'm like, man, I do this all the time. These are people that I trust. Just release the car to them. The guy's waiting there.
So it was your transport.
Yeah.
That was
I
the,
arranged
that
the
was
transport.
the difference. Yeah.
And next time you got to transport a car, just let us know, because we
Yeah.
got people.
It's literally on the opposite end of the country. But how the deal worked out, I was like, okay, I'll do it. But I expected it to be like a week and a half, but 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks since I bought it in 2 days. But
Some guy's joyriding that thing, man.
No, it's on
Across the country.
Breaking that engine in real good.
it's on a like a double decker enclosed trailer,
Okay.
and it left out Friday after Friday. So probably be here. Like I told him my
Let's see,
deadline's
what's
the 8th,
today?
which is Thursday.
Yeah, I mean you're getting close, dude.
So, and I
Good
told
luck.
him by Thursday because, well, one, I want to have it by this weekend, and two, I want to get it so I can take it in Friday to get the full exhaust put on, and then have
Oh
it.
man,
for the
you
weekend.
setting deadlines on a transportation company.
Yeah, good luck.
Oh,
It's more like a
Have
moving
you driven
target.
one before?
RS?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. But the GT3 is going to be basically the same thing. And I drove it on the track.
Well, except for a lot more.
Well, the power-wise, there's
Yeah.
more aero, but it's not power-wise. And I've had all the power. I'm sure I'm going to be fine adjusting, but I want full exhaust because I know it's going to sound incredible.
Yeah, I
We'll
think
see.
But if the full exhaust doesn't go on this weekend, that's fine. I just want the car by the weekend because
I think
nice
Porsche
weather.
out of all the cars, I think Porsche with a great exhaust is one of the best sounding cars. I mean, Haas, your Ferrari is so loud and so obnoxious and sounds like a fighter jet coming down the road.
Perfect.
But that Porsche's just got this sound of pure racing, you know.
See, I think the Ferrari is like more pure and racing, like early 2000s F1 car, because coming from the Aventador, which had that ridiculous exhaust, that was a little obnoxious. This is like same
yours
loudness.
isn't obnoxious?
You
I
made
don't
yours
think so.
obnoxious.
I don't think it's obnoxious.
You need
made
to
it
drive behind
obnoxious.
it.
I think the way I drive it is obnoxious. Let's be clear. The way I hold it in like 8,000 RPM, like that's a little.
So we're
sure,
leaving
but-
Perimeter Mall, and I'm like, I'll just meet you. I'll just follow you. And he's like, oh, I don't think you can keep up. And I'm like, I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I just don't drive like
I just don't
that.
drive like a maniac.
You need to say, I don't think I want to keep up.
Yeah,
because
I mean, as we got on the highway, I mean, 7 lanes splitting, 4 cars. I mean, it's all good.
It was.
We made it, yeah. One piece.
I got here like 5 minutes earlier. It was only like 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
Anyway, so by the way, Danny is here. Danny, what's your official title at Butler Tire?
So
Besides partner and head chief marketing officer or whatever.
VP of marketing.
There you go.
I mean, you know, when you're dealing with a company of under 100 employees, does it really matter what your title is? I don't think so. But I think, you know.
For our viewers to have some
for
idea,
our viewers,
you
I mean,
represent Butler Tire.
I do. Anywhere that you see the brand or the name, that's my department. I have an unbelievable team behind me. We've been in business for over 50 years, and to keep something sustained as we have through pandemics, through downturns, through everything is incredible.
So who's the Butler?
So the company actually started was a gas station in Marietta way back in the 60s, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just it was a Shell station, and then I think the Butler brothers, which are actually local to Atlanta, they bought it. And then my uncle came over from South Africa, was just cruising around the United States, found Atlanta, and just didn't ever
Stayed.
leave.
Yeah.
So in
Cool.
1979, he bought the gas station and turned it. I mean, I'm third generation tire guy, if that's a title too. My grandfather had 2 tire stores in South Africa, where we're originally from. My 2 uncles worked for
Man,
him.
tires and rubber in your blood.
Yeah, I mean, it
I didn't realize
was
that. That's
inevitable.
cool.
And the funny thing is, I've been in the country for 24 years. I got here in 97.
But didn't you just recently become a citizen, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Last
Yeah,
year.
I
Got
remember
my
that.
PASMA. I'm so excited. Finally got to use it. Went to Mexico. It was amazing. But anyway, I mean, one uncle came over in 1979, started it. And then the other uncle came over in the 80s. I remember, hearing stories.
And they came and started with the Butler brothers.
So they
And
just
hence the
kept the
Butler?
name. It was Butler
the Butler-
Brothers Tire Co.
So the Butler brothers like left at
Yeah,
some point
so-
or died off or what?
No, they actually still around, and they're still local to Atlanta. I've never personally met them.
So they're not active in the business.
No.
But you just you guys kept the
Yeah,
name because
we
it's
just-
a long time business of Butler.
Yeah, we just kept the name. I've never personally met them. I know of them. But I'm sure that they drive by and they're proud to see, what's been built from their name.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, my uncle passed away a few years ago, which was super sad, and he was the face of the company,
And you have that memorial party, right?
So we have the MD17. If you walk into any of our stores, it stands for Mel Dobrin, who passed away in 2017, and it was super sudden for us. And we have a sort of memorial show every year, which you guys are always a part of.
Yeah.
Of course, last year we had to skip
Right.
because of the
COVID.
pandemic, but we're hoping, by next year to get it back up and rolling.
A couple years ago, actually, I want to say that the second day I had my car, I drove to that memorial show with my Rolls, with my
the
Wraith.
Rolls.
The second day I had the
remember.
Wraith.
I remember.
It was stock.
Absolutely.
And you were like, oh.
You know what? Like I appreciate all cars, and I appreciate people who leave them stock.
But I wasn't going to leave it stock anyway. So
Well,
it wasn't like you were criticizing me like, oh, you're stock, what's wrong with you? It was more like, we need to get you on this quicker because he knew I wanted to change it.
I think when you understand, and that's the difference with our company than a lot of companies, we take a lot of time to understand our customers.
Yeah.
So even though you're buying aftermarket accessories or wheels or tires or whatever, Harry drives differently than you do, or your purposes are different. You may have the same car, but understanding what you do with your car gave me the ability to, lay out some options. Because typically on the Rolls Royces we're doing 24s. Not many people are doing 22s, and it's for aesthetics.
Right.
And once I found out that you drive like an absolute animal. And B,
regardless of car.
Yeah, regardless of cars. And B, that you abuse the hell out of these cars.
I mean,
we knew that 24s weren't going to last long. And the fact that it's
not like I've done, well.
I mean, you've murdered.
I have done donuts and rallies in drag race, the Rolls. So I haven't done anything crazy. That's just
You've driven like 160, 70.
Oh, yeah. But the roller should cruise at that. I mean, it should be fine.
It should be fine, but when you hit the Grand Canyon of potholes, no wheel's going to sustain.
This has happened twice now because the road that I live on, West Paces Ferry, is the worst maintained road.
What is it with Atlanta roads? I just don't understand it.
West Paces is the worst in Atlanta.
But Buckhead is the wealthiest neighborhood. You'd say, right, Buckhead?
You'd think, and the governor is down the street. Like, you'd think it'd be better. There's a billionaire who lives across the street from me. What the hell? But I mean, I guess
it's just slightly flexing right now, Harry. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, he knows
flex.
that. I'm just saying,
the guy with the Bugatti lives right behind me.
No, I was talking about Arthur Blank.
I know.
I was like, there are people who are, huge figures in Atlanta, and we still can't get our roads paved properly.
I mean, listen, for some,
it's sad,
and
I'm the guy, by the way, because I got emails and contacts. I complain about the potholes and file the things with the city because I realized most of my neighbors just assume somebody else is going to do it. And it sits there for a while because after I did it, they got back to me like, we've fulfilled your requests.
So when they repair it, do you drive by and you're like, yeah, that's all me, guys?
Well, at first,
you go to the next door app and you're like, guys, that pothole on West Paces? Yeah, you're welcome.
I hate the next door app.
It
is
the
worst.
The pothole on West Paces. It's the 157 potholes that are 4 feet deep.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, twice now.
Drive in the middle lane.
Yeah, exactly. You have to drive in the middle lane. Twice now. Once was at night. I didn't see it. A new pothole. Another time it was raining, so it looked like a puddle. It was full, but it was a deep pothole. But I've had 2 wheels get destroyed twice and flat tires from that exact thing.
It's funny, and
so we see Danny often actually.
Whether it be me selling cars or Haas destroying his wheels.
Between me, Harry, Steve, Matt, I mean we're
Steve does it. He doesn't have his car.
He never has his car working.
Yeah, Steve's not here because
he drives a G-Wagon. I think actually G-Wagon's got wheels.
He got new tires on the G-Wagon too. Yeah,
it's funny because I mean, the relationships and the friendships run so deep. But I mean, you guys go to our stores and get the same treatment as you would as if I was there. But I mean, typically I'll come and meet you guys and hang out and see because I like seeing how you guys abuse these wheels. I mean, I'm just saying. I
have to say, Harry doesn't abuse his wheels. I do.
I just abuse the
car,
the quantity of car that I go through.
Yeah, he doesn't abuse the car itself. He basically bags and tags.
Yeah, I've never come with any repairs or anything. Like I just
with the side skirt of the RA. Remember when you were driving?
Yeah, but that's not to the wheel. The wheel is fine.
We thought it was the wheel, but yeah, it was just the side skirt. And then
I've never got a call from Harry like, hey man, I damaged the wheel.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was just the front splitter the one time.
I just get nails all the time.
Yeah.
Like I've called you because I get nails in a tire that we just put on 5 minutes before. It's like,
it's the worst, man. It's the worst.
Yeah,
it's the absolute worst. And then to go through that. I mean, dismounting the tire, patching it from the inside,
Well, the thing is, I've been having issues where I get nails that are not patchable. I've had that like 4 times.
In the sidewall, that's
literally.
The worst.
And on the Range Rover it happened, and I came back and I was like, it was a slow leak. And then I went and they're like, yeah, this is like the worst possible spot. And they said the price of tire, and it was like a slow leak. I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait this out because I'm not gonna keep this car much longer.
Yeah,
and what do you know?
and he sold it.
I sold it. Yeah, I got
You sold her over?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that's when he got the M3,
M3. Yeah.
Okay.
which has wheels and tires on it.
I actually
already.
saw the new M4. No disrespect to anybody,
It
but
sucks.
I don't understand that. I mean, you got to figure there's a whole team of designers.
I'm half and
the
half of
best
this.
in the world.
Because whenever they change it, there's always an enthusiast like, fuck that, I hate it, I'll never drive it. And then 4 years later, everyone's like, I fucking want it. And it kind of gets into, your mind as, here's the new one, and they make some improvements. Then the M version comes out, right? Then the competition version comes out, and it's like, all right, that starts to become cool. They said that about the Bengal stuff. However, on the other side, I do not like it either.
There's no justifying that grill on the front. I would love to know, exactly like the Mercedes team who just came out and said that the new C-Class, the C63, is going to be a hybrid. Like, who gets around a boardroom and high fives after that? Knowing
We understand another thing, though, because Ford did the EcoBoost, right? And they're like, oh, we're committed to this. And then they just announced that the Raptor, another version of the Raptor, is going to be the V8 again. So what they've done is create a lot of pent-up demand for that car. They know it will sell 100%.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you're saying. It seems like a weird decision.
That it's probably the greatest driving car out there. I mean, the M3, M4.
But they're also creating more demand for the future releases,
But
whether it's engine or design.
I think how it typically goes though is the renderings. You'll be like, oh, it's ugly. You see it in person, and like, I feel like I'm not really like. I feel like personally, when I see a car that's ugly after the release, I'm like, I mean, sneakers, it's a different story, but like the cars,
You don't get
and
excited
like
about
I
it.
saw many of the G80s in person already, and I'm just like, every time I see, I'm like, oh, that's just awful. Like,
Is that what the chassis is now?
Yeah, G80.
G80.
Yeah.
How did that
They've
go
left
from
the E's.
E46 to E to
Well,
E to E?
so
And my car's an
internal codes-
F80, so it goes F80 to G80.
FG. Okay.
Yeah,
But it's still a big jump
It
because
still always jumps because it's not always sequential for the model, right? So
You had an E46 as well, right?
I had 13 BMWs before. I mean, actually, I met Jordy like 15 years ago from the forums when he was up in Alpharetta. Jordy is another guy who works at Butler Tire. Now he's at the Buckhead one.
Huge BMW guy.
Yeah, he obsessed with wagons. Beyond me.
Bimmer dog.
That's right. So I was on the Beamer forums for a long time, and I had a lot of BMWs. And my last one was an Alpina B7, and I loved that car. I may buy another one again because they're just so
Great
good.
car.
They're fantastic. But
you got to get one with like 5,000 miles on it, like pristine, like a perfect one.
And then never
just
drive
let
it like
sit in the
every other
garage.
BMW owner.
Leave it in the garage.
no, but I have been recently looking at E46 M3s again because I still love the E46 M3. It's virtually perfect to me.
I claim one of the greatest cars ever made. The E46.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. So looks and drive, I think, but drive, the E36 from a handling perspective, I think is probably the best one because
I never owned one.
Oh, I did. That was my first. It was an E36 3 Series.
Last night I had a dream that we were driving together and you were driving a blue E46 M3.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I
last
love
night.
happening?
LSB, like Laguna Seca blue.
Like just like a bright blue.
what
Yeah.
was color is the interior?
I don't know. You were just you had
Purple.
somebody in your passenger seat and you were like flying by laughing. I was like, I don't remember that Haas had an older.
I swear to
M3.
God, that's exactly what I want. I want an LSB E46 M3 convertible.
That's weird. It wasn't a convertible though. Convertibles are.
I want it. The reason why I want a convertible
Ruins
is
the form
all my
factor.
other cars are like I would need a reason to drive it. Like why would I drive an E46 M3 when I have these other cars? But if it was convertible, that's my reason, right?
I was looking for.
Convertibles are ass.
I was looking
It
for.
does. It changes it. I agree.
Like the
I was looking
Huracan.
for a new car. Both me and my cousin Craig both had G37s back in the day, the coupes, and then his
The
turned
Infinities?
out. Yeah, he turned out into a was a G35 maybe, I don't know.
They have 35 and 30. It's probably a 35.
Yeah,
back in the
35.
day.
Yeah, back in the day. And I mean, it was my first like brand new car, or whatever.
They're pretty quick, I have to say, for what they are.
I mean, it was
They
fun.
have a horrible reputation now because everybody just straight pipes them and drifts them in parking lots and wrecks
Oh.
them.
Yeah, I mean, when I had it, it was
They're like
back in
hoonigans
2000
that
and
drive
when
that.
they first came out. But anyway, I was looking for a new car, and we went and test drove a whole bunch of cars. And the funniest one was driving a Lexus, and the salesperson was like, "Let me just turn the AC off so you can get the real feeling of the car." And I'm like, "Ma'am, this isn't the right car for me," you know. And then Craig had an E46 M3, and he was like, "Why don't you just buy mine?" And I was like, "You know, if we can work out a deal." And he was like, "Man, we family. I'll take care of you." And so I got his E46 M3, and I'll
color?
tell you, it was like that grey metallic. It
mineral
wasn't the
grey.
silver. It was almost the same color as my car right now.
Okay. Yeah.
And he had done a bunch of Schnitzer stuff to it, and
AC Schnitzer, yeah.
And I remember calling him, and I'm like, "What is this rasp sound? It sounds like something's rattling." And he's like, "Oh man, that's the E46 thing." And I'm like, "I hate it. Like I want to get rid of this thing." And slowly, as I would drive it, I loved that car so much. The handling, the performance, the sound,
It looked so good,
the
too.
everything. I mean, it was
good.
just a phenomenal car. And then I was driving it one day and hit a bump, and all the airbags deployed.
Oh, that's right. You told me about this, and you were like, "I'm done."
Yeah, I thought I was shot 18 different times, but eventually I traded in for an E92, and again, I hated that car. I hated the E92 was in my
I
eyes
thought the
was-
E92
People
looked
think
pretty good.
E92 is the best generation of
Because they went V8.
the last
It's
generation.
too
of V8.
much. The E46 was just perfect amount of power, weight, everything was perfect. And then the E92 comes out, and they put a V8 in it, which was amazing. But how many times do you take it on the track? Not every single day. How many times do you take it to the mountains? Not every single day. And you daily drive
You're
this
saying
car.
it's daily driven. It wasn't as drivable as the E46.
No, I mean,
I also theorized that because we're a little older than, for example, you're 11 years younger, right? Do you favor the E92 or the E46?
My dream car growing up was a E46. Like I tried to do everything.
Because you were
in
a
my
kid,
power.
you were like, that would be amazing.
Yeah, but I couldn't afford to get one, and so I tried to get a coupe 328i manual. Like I literally was looking at manuals, but I was like, you're not getting into a 2-door manual BMW. You're gonna kill yourself. So that was like the dream car, but the E92 was more ones that like I saw them a lot more growing up in my time generation.
So if you could, let's say all things being equal, you won an M3, which would you choose? I mean, besides like
when
choosing
did the
E30.
E92 came out in like 2010?
eight.
8.
06 is when they changed the
And I was-
last body style E46. So 07, and then 2 years later, yeah. So
Yeah, I
I was
08, 09.
13 at that.
Yeah,
at
08,
that
09.
point.
I think I got
So-
mine in 10 or 11.
The first
2010,
E90 platform, E90 came out in 07. So the M3 was late 08.
So which one would you take, E46 or E92?
It depends the purpose of them. If it's just like if I'm getting the
Just
best,
to drive around town.
like but if it's like the perfect car for me to like
All
the
purpose.
purpose, it would probably be
No, but as an added car to your collection, to your current car,
I would want to get one as like a showroom car, like a perfect
and never drive it.
but just a low miles, like perfect interior. I would want an E46 over an E92, but if I'm more drivable every day, an E92 is going to give me the best bang for my buck. I can get the V8 sound. It still can drive it each day. Like the F80, like it's not mechanical at all. It's very easy. Like I can literally, it's like driving an automatic. Like when I drive it as that's my daily. And so it
It's a
could be a
manual.
lot more raw.
It's
Yeah,
a manual.
It's a manual.
Just so people, yeah,
It could be a lot
See,
more
I got
raw, but
I made the mistake because I had the SMG in the E46.
Yeah.
And people either hated it or they loved it. I loved it.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it too.
I thought it was so awesome because it allowed you the little flappy paddle, but it still gave you that manual feeling that you were still driving the car. And then I went with a 6-speed E92. And every time you change from first into second, your passenger either got a whiplash.
yeah, exactly.
And no matter
like
what.
my car now.
Yeah. Is it the same thing?
It's very jerky in first and second. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I smoked cigars in that thing for 50,000
Keeps
miles
falling on you.
every day, all day. I hated that car. And then when I finally traded it in, I mean, I took it to the detailer and I was like, look, I'm giving it back because it was a lease back then. Made the biggest mistake ever. I traded my paid off E46 M3 full Schnitzer car for a leased E92. It was the worst thing. Because you think at that time, oh, when it gets to the end of the lease, I'll just buy it. But it just made no sense to buy it. And so I went to my detailer and I'm like, look, I got to turn this car in. And he's like, okay, detailed it. And he's like, you have 2 hours because this thing stank of cigars. I'm telling you, like I abused the hell out of this interior. I took it, got the whole inspection, traded it in, signed the paperwork and walked away. And about 2 or 3 months later, I was buying my mom a car at the same BMW dealership.
And it was there?
It was still on the showroom
Because
floor.
it still sold a cigar?
With the windows down. They even had a BMW air freshener sitting in the middle. And I'm like, that poor guy, whoever bought that car. But I mean, I did sell it with a full Super Sprint exhaust and suspension and all
Yeah.
that, you know.
Well, I mean, so now, two things. First of all, I get a lot of hate for smoking cigars in my rolls. It's like even yesterday, I had people commenting like, why would you ruin that car? It's happened before, right? Why would you ruin that car by smoking a cigar? So one, I don't buy my cars for resale, right? So that's not the purpose. I buy my cars to enjoy them.
Are we allowed to cuss on this thing?
Yeah. Second of all, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit what you think. I have an orange Rolls. I obviously give zero fucks about what anyone else thinks about what it should be, what you shouldn't do.
It is the brightest Rolls Royce in Georgia.
I think it's awesome that you smoke in there. I think that the fact that you do shows that you give zero fucks about.
I don't care
what anybody thinks,
but
which
at the
is
same
why
time,
the car is orange.
At the same time, yeah, that's true. At the same time, I'm also considering, because I've like lent it to Harry or others, or had other people in the car, and I actually go through a cleaning like regimen to make it so that it doesn't reek of cigar. So
Does
normally,
it smell like cigars in there, Harry?
No, not after he like fogs it.
I do the whole thing. So I do like an overnight cleaning process with ozone and everything, and it's pretty thorough. But I've got it down to a science now. So after that, it's pretty good. Then again, the next week I'm back at it back and I'm smoking it again. So I just have to do it before I'm worried about that. But generally, there are things you can do to not make it the worst.
I mean, I guess as a cigar smoker, you don't really realize how much you smell. So you get in a car and you don't
smell. You go, yeah, nose.
That's what I'm
depth to
saying.
it.
I mean, my fiance gets on me all the time.
But see, I'm very sensitive to it in general. I like it, but I know I'm aware, right? So I leave my windows down in my garage, which is heated and cooled as well, and so I get.
Wait, your garage is heated and cooled?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah. So I
need to redo it in there.
I do
a garage makeover.
We need to do a video on that, actually.
Yeah, not unless you.
I mean,
sell this place.
Harris. Weren't you busy working on your old garage before you sold the place?
I didn't do much to it. Honestly.
Lighting, right? You did a lot of lighting.
Did lighting.
Did you paint it?
No, I didn't do much. I just reorganized it all the time, but
just like every room you have.
That's my therapy.
Except for your bedroom, you reorganize
That's Sophie's stuff. I don't touch the house. She touches the house, not me.
I just take my hat off to you because you sometimes you post on social where you're washing your car. And
he loves washing his car.
like, I hate it.
I do too. I hate it.
Like, it takes me 3.5 hours, and it is my
3.5 hours.
It's my favorite
it's
thing
his
in the
like
world.
Zen time.
After the track,
to us, it's more like dry.
Let's go! I'm so excited.
How those HREs to clean on your BMW?
They're ass. Because my wheel cleaning process is pretty. I have this one brush, and then I have another one that's like. I have all these different brushes, and it's about 4 or 5 different things. It's like brushes to go in between.
You bought like the whole Obsessed Garage kit?
Basically. And then I have like a hand thing that I get in the crevices, and that wheel sucks.
Sorry. Fuck that.
And I like
my AGs on the rolls are terrible too, because you have to clean the entire inside barrel, right? What's that called? That inside?
Listen, there's guys out there, okay?
Barrel.
Yeah, barrel, right?
We have a detailer comes out once a week. I swear to God, it's worth every single penny. My car gets cleaned every Friday. I mean, most of ours do. But
yes, shout out to my guy Sean, because he comes religiously to clean my cars.
Shout out to my boy Devontae, because that guy, and you know when you find a good detailer, when the guy is super passionate about cleaning cars, and I can't relate to somebody who's passionate about it.
I feel like Harry would be a professional cleaner. Furniture rearranger if he wasn't a YouTuber.
See, I would be a detailer, but I would charge people way too much money because I just take so long, and it's just like at that point,
my car, it's gonna take me 7 hours.
Like I don't wash my wife's car because it's like not worth going in the detail that I need to go into. But like for the Porsche,
can you not just do a normal wash? Just soap and water
but like
and dry?
I'd rather like
why
I want to
at that
commit
point?
the time to it. I don't want to rush through it.
It's the last thing I want to do.
Literally, what I do is I literally turn on a movie, I get a beer, and I start watching the car, and it's like. I plan it out to where it's like near the end of the day, so that's my unwind time. And like
it takes him 3.5 hours to finish a beer, by the way.
No, it doesn't. I'll have like 4 beers in that time. That's why
you haven't had 4 beers in like 7 months, dude.
Just every day this past week, I had 4 beers.
What?
Family was.
So
in
basically,
town.
I have to come and wash my car to drink with you these days.
Bro, you should do that. Hang on. You said you're getting a warehouse or location.
Yeah. He got it.
But I think that would be super cool. I mean, if you're washing your car and guys are coming and hanging out, I think
that was part of his concept.
I already ordered a whole shelving unit. I have all my.
What's the purpose?
It's filming, so it's gonna be a studio, but the front half has a tall draw door that you can drive in, so you can park a car. So there's gonna be a car parked at the front. There's gonna be a detail area, and then in between will be a couch with TVs.
Is there a drain inside?
There's not, unfortunately. There's in the bathroom, but I have to wash outside. And then there's TV, and then the whole back half will be desks and set.
See, I don't drink beer because I'll open it. It'll take me so long to drink one that is just warm by the time it gets to half a beer.
This is my version of water because I don't like water.
If I would drink, it was just to get drunk. I mean, tequila was the weapon of choice.
I just love a buzz. I like getting to a buzz and just kind of riding it.
I haven't gotten a buzz in a long time.
Yeah,
so
beer
four
buzz
beers,
and just riding
four
it.
beers gets you to a buzz.
About 2 now because I've been drinking more often. But 2, I'm at a solid buzz, and then 3 and 4 is just to keep me going.
I was in Hilton Head a few weeks ago. We went on a boys' golfing trip, and I generally don't drink, and I know that the golf course people associated with golfing, cigars, and drinking,
Yeah.
And I just decided one day, I'm like, let me have a beer, and I loved it. I enjoyed it so much. I mean, but I was 2 beers down and hammered. Right? Absolutely, like hammered in the sun.
Well, yeah, in the sun, it is a little bit different.
Shit.
Like Coronas in the sun, you can't beat that. Like a Corona at the
seriously.
pool.
Yeah, no, I
Or at
totally
the
agree with
beach.
you there.
I mean, they cornered that market.
Because you're also hydrating at the same time. That's why I like to do it. I don't really
Not
hydrate.
hydrating.
I am.
It is
With Coronas.
dehydrating you.
No. Dehydrating is my bourbon.
No, but
The Coronas
beer
hydrate
is
me.
like technically dehydrating you.
Bro, when you're drinking it in the
when
sun,
your
it's just
alternative is
fermenting
bourbon
inside of you.
But if it's
just getting
bourbon or
worse.
Corona, a Corona's hydrating me.
You drink water.
I guess in comparison, it's very hydrating. I never drink water. I never drink water.
Water's
So
good for
obviously,
you,
I'm getting
man.
some sort of water content in my body. I don't drink water.
I mean, water's good for you, and I mean,
Oh yeah, it's
I
good for
drink
you.
2 of these a day. That's how you stay hydrated.
You
How old are you?
Hell no.
25.
20, wait till you get to your upper 40s, your mid 40s, and then still drinking that, and you spend the whole night peeing.
No,
He already has to pee every 5 seconds.
Yeah, your bladder adjusts, but I'm used to it. But it's just I know the repercussions if I don't drink water, especially if I'm drinking beer. Like I just feel like shit. So.
But I mean, I always even back to the car washing. I start washing the other day. There was an event coming up, and we had nothing to do, and I was like, let's just go up to the event. But I was like scrambling to find somebody to wash my car, and I was like, damn it, I got to do this thing myself,
Yeah.
And it's always a great idea, when I start, and then
If I do it myself, it's just gonna come dirty.
yeah, and so I get to the wheels, and I'm like, fuck this. This is you busting your knuckles, and you're trying to get in there, and I'm like,
Black's been on the pod. He raves about the G Technic. It's G5 or G37. I don't know what it is, but it's a specific wheel thing where
what's his promo code?
it's black. Really, I think it is.
Okay.
It's black.
He has a promo. He has like 10% off.
He really does have a promo code. Yeah, because he raves about it. But he says it's great. Like he just sprays it, gives it a second, wash it off. He's like, it's fantastic for like pain in the ass, HFEs or whatever it is that you're running.
You can't use that stuff on ceramic
coated
brakes.
Yeah. Oh, ceramic brakes at all?
So you can't use it on certain brakes. So like
Ooh.
the kind that I have isn't as strong because I use it on cars that have my Lambo had ceramic brakes and the R8, and the new Porsche will, but you can't because it's just not good for the carbon ceramics.
I didn't know that. Well, I don't wash my own car, so there's
my M3 is ceramic coated, so like if I really wanted to do a quick wash, like I can. I literally just like spray it with foam, wipe it down,
That stuff is amazing.
and then air or use a leaf blower to dry
Is
it.
yours ceramic coated?
Yeah, I just still don't wash it.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even rinse it down.
I washed mine 2 weeks ago, like for this event for the first time, and I even called my detailer and I said to him, like, your life must be so easy with our cars because they're all ceramic coated, and you can actually feel. I mean, when you're washing it, that it's a lot easier to wash.
Actually, you know what? The front end isn't ceramic coat anymore because I went and got the PPF on top of it. So we have to do ceramic coat again.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I
should
have
definitely
to do.
do it.
I mean, it would be good, but I never even rinsed the damn thing. So
I just love the feel. Like afterwards, you feel it's just like
yeah, it feels nice on the back of your hand.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'm not gonna have my car for a damn week. Actually,
man.
There's a couple announcements we have to make. One, by the way, for FLEXCasters, okay, a couple things I got to get out. One, shout out to all the FLEXCasters who are on TikTok because Rohan, who's a big fan of FLEXCast, he mentioned FLEXCast. He was like, "Hey, where the FLEXCasters at?" People who watch FLEXCast on Isaiah Photos TikTok. 87 people were like, "Yes," because they knew what the fuck that was. That's a lot of FLEXCast listeners. I was like, that's a pretty good showing. on TikTok, and that we didn't mention it either.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Anyway, shout out to you guys. But we do have, so FlexCasters know, there is going to be a very exciting FlexCast related promotion coming up. Danny?
I don't know what you're talking about. So we're talking about this weekend, or are we talking about overall in general?
Oh, we'll talk about this weekend, but we're talking about overall in general.
So overall in general, we teamed up with Voss and Wheels. So shout out to Jav and his team. These guys are amazing. You've actually got them on your Ferrari.
I do have Voss on the Ferrari.
You had them on your Porsche, your GT3. So we teamed up with them. We're actually going to be giving away a set of wheels.
Yeah. So and that's huge, guys. That's so I paid, I don't know what, like it's $10,000 wheels, I think. Yeah. Like I mean the wheels are like $10,000 wheels, and then I mean they're
I mean we're gonna do
they're not cheap is what we're saying.
Yeah, we're gonna do a set of cast wheels, so no matter what car you drive, Vossen typically makes an application for you. So you'll be able to pick your style, your finish, your size and everything.
And if you don't want them, you could do a gift card. I think Danny was going to figure that out too for you.
You know, the challenge, and we were talking about this as a giveaway, you know, when you guys are doing shoe giveaways or sneaker giveaways, it's so easy because it's a certain size, a style, and a color. When it comes to wheels, there's so many different applications and so many different vehicles out there, different bolt patterns, different offsets, different everything. So it's a little bit more of a challenge. So if you're local, absolutely, we'll slap the wheels on. We're working with Michelin to try and get a set of tires to pair up with the wheels, so you'll get a full wheel and tire application. I mean, it's probably
depending on your car, it's $10,000-$15,000, I would assume.
Not with cast wheels.
Yeah,
for the cast wheels, they're more inexpensive.
Yeah.
Why are mine so expensive?
Because they're forged.
Yeah, yours are forged from a solid block of aluminum. So when you think about it, you're actually paying for what they're wasting versus what you're getting.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that makes more sense.
But
I just said I want the most expensive wheel.
No, I was just like, I want a dope ass wheel.
You haven't had cast. I had cast Vossens on my Mustang.
But that's also why I go to Danny, because I don't know. I'm just like, hey, here, you know what I do. What's the best wheel for me for this application?
Again, it's understanding who you are as a customer versus selling you what I need to sell. I don't need to sell you anything. And that's not in a cocky way, but if I pay, imagine you get a set of wheels, you paid $10,000 or $15,000, and you drive like a maniac, and you keep destroying them. You're gonna call me and be like, "Man, you sold me a shit set of wheels," and I'm like, "No."
All the things I call you about are because of me or the road.
No, I mean, you know, back to the giveaway, the cast wheels. I mean, with tires, you're looking at $5,000-$6,000. Value.
It's a huge giveaway.
Yeah.
So you guys know first, it's going to be coming. We're going to announce it on the FlexCast. Yeah. It's going to be coming soon, probably within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll announce it on social. Go ahead and follow Butler right now, because then you'll know as soon as it happens. Butler Tire on IG.
We've been stuck at like 67,000 followers for like 3 years now. It's just
so for you guys listening or watching to this one, we will announce on FlexCast the rules, the date, what post to comment on, stuff like that. We'll tell you the details soon, but Danny's happened to be here today. Why not? And this is what we're planning. It's going to be coming up. So a set of wheels and tires, that's huge. I mean, that's massive. That's a huge giveaway. I mean, most of the stuff that you do for giveaways are shoes, right? But they're smaller than that, unless it's a huge promotion.
Yep. If you're into cars, it's big, because like I remember my first set of like Bostons that I bought, like a nice set of wheels for a car. I put on my credit card, and I probably shouldn't have bought them because they're so expensive. But it's like that's all I wanted for my car.
Well, I mean, I wonder how many people who listen to FlexCast aren't into cars, because it's probably the one of the main constants. YouTube, cars, and sneakers.
You know what the thing is
that shoes.
We do. But I'm saying those are the 3 most popular things. We probably talk about cars more than anything on this podcast.
I always find that you guys are laughing at Steve, because I'm also yet to see that GTR. Even though I've heard
here with it.
He's not here with it. It doesn't count. It's not there. Yeah, but we'll let Steve defend himself next week.
I've had five cars since he's had his GTR, or since it's quarantined.
And I've switched out 6. So we've had 11 car changes since Steve has had his car down, basically.
Yeah, just
kind of sad.
Wow.
Between the 2 of us.
I don't know, at what point do you give up? And you're like, maybe this isn't the right car.
I've been telling him since when it was down for 2 months. Remember, like FlexCast 3, we were like, hey, Steve, you just bag it. Like, get a different car.
But isn't there like a trend that YouTubers take? I mean, don't you guys all start at and talking to you, Harrison, don't you guys all start at GTRs, then R8s,
it's like
then Huracans?
It depends.
It's a lot of bang for your buck.
Aventador.
I mean,
The GTR is the first like supercar killer car to get into, so that's
Yeah.
why everybody does it because
it's like M3 then GTR,
Yeah, M3 GTR,
M3
R8,
GTR, Huracan, then
Aventador,
No,
Ferrari.
then-
most people don't make it there.
No, then they go to like 570.
yeah,
They don't
600,
because most people aren't into cars.
570.
Like,
yeah,
and
most
that's
people
the thing,
stop at that point too
when I
because you
got-
have to get pretty big to go beyond a 570.
or a Huracan to get past that. Like, and people stop there, or most people just start with the Huracan because they don't know much about cars. That's why when I had it, everybody's like, "Oh, everybody gets this car." But
Well, if they're not into cars, they start with a Huracan.
yeah,
But were you
Yeah.
into sneakers or cars first? I think cars.
Cars.
I've been in
Yeah.
cars since I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the first time that I met you, we were revealing Matt's new wheels
Yep.
on his Lambo.
Oh, yeah.
And you and
Nick.
Nick.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot his name. My bad. But you guys were standing there, and I was like, "Oh man, here's another bunch of kids just interested in this." And then I
Lambo.
think Matt turned around. He's like, "Man, you know who that is?" And I just started getting into sneakers. I think it was like 2-3 years ago. I was just starting to get into sneakers, and I was like, "Man, I have no idea." And he was like, "Man, that's Harrison Neville." And so then I remember later on that day going home and being like, "Holy shit, man! I was in like YouTube royalty."
When I
you
met
know?
Harry, I didn't know shit about sneakers. I didn't know shit about YouTube. And I didn't give a fuck who he was or anything like that.
Nobody
But-
there did, like, because I came.
No one.
because we
did.
did. I mean,
Matt didn't introduce me to anybody, so I just like.
well,
he's like, "Come over-"
he said this is Harrison. He introduced
Yeah.
you. Didn't say.
He's like, "Come over to pizza with us or whatever." And I walked over to you guys, and you guys were eating it. Like nobody, I couldn't even talk to anybody because nobody knew the fuck I was.
Well,
And-
then we were
and
like
now knowing-
arguing and stuff.
Yeah, and now I know like Peter and stuff, and how like they act, and how he acts. Like new kids in there is probably like, "Fuck this kid." Like,
Well, I mean, yeah. Now you know everybody, but like at
I
the
think
time,
hands-
it was just some kid who came with a nice car, and we were like, all right, cool, because that's how we met was based on car stuff, you
Yeah.
know. So it was never about shoes or YouTube or anything.
Yeah.
And then later, and that day, I was buying a camera. Remember?
yep.
And so we went to Best Buy, and like the whole crew came, and Harry. I remember Harry being like, "Hey, I do YouTube, and you guys should have recorded that. That would have gone viral. Like that's insane."
And then we walked out, and I remember Hollis was talking about his Raptor, and I was like, "I have a Raptor too." And then I showed him a picture of my Raptor. He's like, "That actually looks decent."
I mean,
I
actually,
just remember
still
looking at
say-
your R8 and I was like, I don't care who you are, bro, but you can't be riding around like that.
Stock wheels.
and I think like a week later we were sitting at Goldberg's, you
Yep.
know, just like sort of, you know, talking about the plans and everything like that. But I think it like cars is like it's a universal language, and I always associated. We had a videographer who was based out of Brazil.
Yeah.
And he had family here in Atlanta, and he used to follow us on social media. And then the one day he arrived at our store, and he thought he had just walked through the doors of Disneyland. And you know, as a person who's in the grind all the time, I mean, I don't ever stop and
You
think
get
like,
used to it. Yeah, you get
holy
used
shit,
to
we
it.
have a global
Right.
brand that we have
Right.
followers all over the world, and thanks to social media, we do. But in talking to him, he can't speak English very, very well, and our communication, we don't have to speak the same language because we appreciate cars. So when he had asked me, "Do you mind if I shoot some cars for you?"
In Portuguese?
in Portuguese. I mean, I was using a translator, and so
Oh,
was
okay,
he,
okay.
You know, but typically when you start with a new videographer, you have to explain to them, this is our style, this is what we need and requirements. But with him, because we understood cars and what makes cars beautiful, he's able to go out there without me having to say, "Hey, man, please get a shot of the wheels," or "Please get this shot or the other shot." And we established, a long relationship, you know, and friendship.
Well, I mean, cars are responsible, and we've talked about this many times. Like, that's how I know Steve. That's how me and Steve know Harry. That's how we know you. Like, cars have united a lot of us. Now, it doesn't mean every single person who's a fan of cars we like, right? It doesn't work that way. But it's a uniting factor that then you kind of find your people within that community. So, speaking of cars, next week, very exciting.
I'm excited for this one.
This is huge. So you guys have all heard of Caffeine and Octane, no doubt. It's the largest car show in the country. It happens every month. And if you're local, come out. We are going to do a live recording of the FLEXCAST. So we're going to try and broadcast it live, but we'll see about that. But we will record it live at Caffeine and Octane, April 11th, Sunday, April 11th. That's a little less than a week from now.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this one out.
My new car should be there, so you can see it before YouTube.
Harry will get like he'll have his brand new car. He get like the day before, 2 days before.
Harry's the only
hopefully.
one I let park in Butler Boulevard on stock wheels.
Without Butler's.
Yeah.
because my GT3 didn't have wheels. But see, that car would be back the next month with wheels. Just whenever they get in.
It just hasn't got there yet.
I think my wheels were ordered at that point. And
you know what?
They were ordered at that point.
We created Butler Boulevard, and if you're not familiar, Caffeine and Octane shoots a TV show every month at the show.
They're in like 87 countries too, syndicated, that show, right?
It's crazy. And I mean, Bruce, the owner, has done an amazing job with it. But because they're shooting and with TV production, everything becomes a prop. And if you start moving props around, there's no continuity within the show. And so they sort of force you to stay in place until 11 o'clock. And, our customers, I went to Bruce and I'm like, look, our customers don't want to stay until, 11 o'clock
we'll get there at 7 and leave it at
7, and
it's 4 hours.
Cattle. So we created a section within the show called Butler Boulevard, which allows our customers, first of all, access to not have to drive around. You know what it's like, 5,000 cars, 30,000 people. If you don't get there at 5 o'clock in the morning, you shit out of luck.
You don't want to be driving around there.
So we created the section called Butler Boulevard, where if you're a Butler customer, you automatically have access to it. And it gives you the freedom to arrive. I mean, you guys arrive whenever you want, which always throws a wrench.
But that's the reason why we come, because if we had to be there at 6:30 in the morning,
I'm not doing that.
And we had to leave at 11. Like I'm not gonna show up for sure. He's not gonna want to sit there for that long. We don't do it.
No,
so we go because of that.
Yeah, I mean, Butler Boulevard allows you to come and go as you like, but
it's the only spot you can.
Yeah.
And it's only like, 10 cars maybe at a time that you allow there? Yeah. So it's not like we have like 50 cars coming in and out. It's just a small
We'll
few.
expand it to as big as we want, but we never ever wanted to create this section to go out there to force sales or generate sales. It was more, we wanted to create an area that people could come and hang out in. Typically at car shows, you'll walk up and down the different avenues, and then you'll see what you need to do and get in your car and leave. But
take up pictures.
We wanted to create a place where people like you meet once a month and catch up, and there's no stress or pressure of staying there for a certain amount of time. And I know even with you, Harry, when you come, you park your car and you typically go walk around, and then you'll just hang out in the corner for a while until people recognize you. That's the best, is when people recognize.
He still gets recognized with a mask and with a hat and stuff.
I remember doing a show with you when you first started, collabing with Harry, and we were at that Dubai and Atlanta show. Oh, and some dude recognized him and was like, "Oh my God, can I get a picture?"
Yeah.
And Haas is like, "Man, new fame."
I was like, "What's up? You're here for me."
Do you remember Haas from before we met? Like, he was not this guy.
Never.
Before,
He would wait.
I'm the same guy. I just didn't appear the same way.
Yeah, appears. Like, Steve was like, Haas, I could never imagine you being a YouTuber back when I met you. Like,
because back then, I mean, it's true, but it's also because, like, I was actually still running a company at that point.
You had to dress up.
I mean, I had different reasons. Now I don't got to do a damn thing. I haven't been for like a year and a half now.
But I think that also the pandemic, especially, you're a uber extrovert.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic is so difficult on extroverted people.
Struggle is real, guys.
By nature, I'm an introvert, but my job sort of forces me
I think you're more of an ambivert, actually.
Yeah, exactly. We
you go in and out.
This.
You go in and out.
I have to.
He's definitely an introvert all the time.
Yeah, my job forces me to go out there because I'm interacting with people all the time, which I enjoy. But then when I go home, it's definitely it's peaceful. I mean, even my house is just, it's not like this, but it's as quiet as this, and I love it.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that.
So
that's why I have stations everywhere to like bring people here so that I can enjoy
different attractions.
You don't have a car wash station. You have to get the full Obsessed Garage kit to do it.
Not for people to wash their own cars. I have my car wash guy come here and say, "Hey guys, come hang out, get your car washed."
For me,
I think everybody has to have an extroverted friend. I have a best friend. His name's Lance, and he's a full-on extrovert as well. Has to have people, not has to, but loves entertaining and having people around. And we always compliment each other because he'll call me and be like, man, I need to, let's have a barbecue. And I'm like, cool, let's do it, and he'll plan, or we'll both plan it. And I have an incredible time, but I do need that time. I call it neutralizing.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get back home and neutralize.
Yeah, you process and gain your energy back, and I
charge.
do that with. I mean, I need people for that.
But I mean, back to the show. You know what I'm excited about? I'm excited because first of all, I'm a huge fan of FLEXCAST. Okay,
that's true. He listens to every episode. He calls you like, "Hey, when you guys were talking about this," like,
I typically, it is a long episode, but I typically put it on in the office and. While I'm working on doing computer desk work stuff.
Oh, thank you.
I listen to it.
Appreciate it, man.
But to bring you guys out there and
like we come for that anyway,
Yeah, I mean, you guys are there anyway, but I think I thought it was a super cool idea to be able, because it's typically at your house, but to be able to recreate this somewhere else in a live environment,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I mean, if you guys are local, come out to Caffeine and Exotics on April 11th. I mean, Caffeine and Octane.
Yeah,
we might do Caffeine and Exotics at some point, but come out to Caffeine and Octane. Come hang, watch us do it live. We'll have some stanchions around, so you're not gonna be like run up here and shit like that. But it'll be very
Don't
cool.
worry, Harry. No one's gonna come and bombard you.
I need my space, COVID space.
But this will actually be better than normal because we'll have the space set out. And so if you're coming for Caffeine and Octane, great. You can come for FLEXCAST, great. But it's all going to be there. You can see us do it live. We'll probably invite some people to come on, as a guest for a couple minutes, and just bring some folks on. But come hang out with us April 11th this Sunday.
Do you think Steve will have his GTR there?
He better. If we're doing this show, he's better bring it.
He's planning on it. I think he had some other issue with something. He's like, "Oh, it's a quick thing. It's a quick thing
there, and just
I know,
park it on the side of the road, man."
But no, we'll have our cars there. We'll probably sit in front of our cars. We'll do a FLEXCAST there. It might be a longer FLEXCAST.
Super cool, and
it's gonna be fun. And then maybe next time we do it, if things go well, it's our first time, so we're tested out logistics wise, etc. I'm gonna bring different chairs so we can make it easy. Bring a rug so we can sit down and set up our thing.
Again, Butler Boulevard is meant. Its purpose is meant to be a hangout section, and it's literally located.
Be like another good reason to hang out there.
And it's modified high-end cars, whereas it's not
just stock.
Because there are like the dealers portions of the show, you'll see the stock versions of the cars, but Butler Boulevard is typically full with Lambos,
more exciting stuff. Yeah, because you go to the people bring their modified cars, yes, in all sorts and types, right? But especially in the high-end range, like you just don't see a lot of modified high-end cars. At Butler, that's where you see them. Butler Boulevard is where you see them. What?
Exotic owners are afraid to do it.
Most are. I mean, when was the last time you saw a modded Ferrari? There's like 3 of us in Atlanta.
There's an F12, a white one. I see him.
Do you know what?
That just has wheels and
he's slammed.
Wheels and suspension
with a wrap stripes.
With a weird wrap.
He's got a wrap, wheels, and lowered.
He just came out. He just came out. First of all,
there was like a trend in Atlanta there remember when Caffeine and Exotics first started? Was at Lenox Mall?
Yeah.
There was a trend that was going like, it's a purist trend. Don't change.
That's the old man crew. Honestly, it really is. I mean, I was there. That's where I met one of my neighbors, who's 800 feet from me, but I met him there 4 years ago.
Is that Bill Gates? No. Come on, man.
Tiger Woods.
Where I mean, anyway.
But I think that it was up to us, as a brand, and our core is selling wheels. I mean, at the core of it, we actually a tire store, so we service all types of vehicles. And the funny thing is that if you look at our social media, it's showcasing the cream of the crop, but realistically, as a business owner, or to try and sustain a business just on exotic cars, there's not enough growth within the Atlanta market in order to sustain it.
It's not your bread and butter.
Exactly. So, but the difference is, Mrs. Smith with her Honda Odyssey gets the same time and attention to detail as you do with your Ferrari. But if I had to post her Honda Odyssey on our social media, it would be even worse than what we get right now. But I think that
I don't know. Maybe you should.
I mean,
I was thinking a picture of like a 65-year-old lady standing next to a Honda Odyssey would probably.
Doesn't Jordy have like a lowered van?
Jordy has an amazing Honda Odyssey, and I'm
pretty sure he does.
The great thing about Jordy and the awesome thing about Jordy is he always pushes the envelope.
By the way, Jordy is a manager at Buckhead. I want to say.
Yeah, he's a Buckhead manager. He drives us crazy because he's literally buys and sells more cars than I've owned in my entire lifetime, and I'm 44 years old. And, he mods them and then he sells them. But that's his vibe,
Yeah. And he's legit. I've known Jordy for almost 16, 17 years now.
He's
Almost
probably
20
had
years.
60, 70 cars in the 11, 12 years.
He's a huge BMW enthusiast, but he gets out there.
He'll be out there. He's got this amazing Honda Odyssey that's slammed on Vossen wheels, of course.
But yeah, come to Butler, come to Caffeine and Octane, come to Butler Boulevard, check it out. Yeah. If you like FLEXCAST, you'll love what we're doing there. So we're excited about it. Thank you, Danny, for helping to make it possible. We couldn't have done it without him saying, "Hey, I'll make the spot." He was a big fan of FLEXCAST in general, so thank you for that. But also, he was like, "Guys, this would be great for all of us. Like, it'd be a lot of fun." Yeah. And I loved it. And then we had to figure out some logistics, but now it seems to make sense, and we make sure we were all in town for it. But we'll be there, so come hang out with us.
There'll be a Persian rug and everything.
One of my outdoor ones, though. It's actually right there. It's rolled up over there.
Yeah.
So we found a good use for it.
It's a great show anyway. I mean, even if you don't come to watch FLEXCAST,
but you should.
Yeah.
It's just massive at this point. The show is so massive.
Big.
So
but that's why we agreed to it, because we can make our own, because they have their own area. We can make our own area.
But if you've never been, like, you'll go there and you'll be like, there's no way I didn't realize that this show was happening here.
Because it's the largest car show in the nation. Monthly car show
in the United States.
Yeah, in the nation. Right. Yeah, it is.
Which you're going to get a lot of, like, if you're a Mustang enthusiast, there's 1,000 Mustangs. If you're a Charger enthusiast, and then the exotic, there's a large lot for that.
There's a whole lot for exotics. There's obviously exotics at Butler Boulevard. And then the main area, they have all sorts of weird stuff. So it's really interesting.
A lot of classics, too.
You'll see classics. You'll see Broncos. You'll see
prototype cars.
Yeah, Ford GTs. You see all sorts of stuff. Gray is always there with one of his cars, either his Aston or his bulletproof Phantom. So I
love that guy, man.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy. So you can always come there and meet interesting people, check out a lot of cool cars, and this time hang out with us at the FLEXCAST. So
it's definitely going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Maybe
and then
extroverted out by the end of it. I'm going to be like, all right, guys, I'm
you're going to peace out and just run.
My car by the outlet.
The thing is Bruce from there.
We'll pave a little path that's stanchioned off so you can just run to your car and not interact with anybody.
I mean, Bruce, who owns the show, has been so accommodating. I mean, he was like, whatever you guys. So we'll have it sort of cornered off.
That's great.
So that's
that's great.
At least, and especially, I mean, we're so conscious about the pandemic that's going on. We don't want to put anybody at risk, and so we don't want too many people culminating in a small area like that.
But we're going to have a speaker so you can hear it. You don't have to be like right next to us to hear it. We'll have a speaker there so any audience folks can actually hear it and stuff like that. I don't think we're going to put chairs there for other people to sit down, but we'll have it so you can come hang out, grab a bite to eat. There's a lot of food trucks there. Check it out. Check out the cars, come in and out. You don't by any means have to sit there and watch, but we're excited about it. So thanks for coming on, Danny. Appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We're excited, and we're going to do we're going to record it for sure there. Maybe do it live. I'm not so quite sure, but it'll be recorded live, right?
I'm sure it'll be on social from all over the place.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're not. I'm not sure. Yeah, we might mention it, but we'll see coming up to it. But outside of that, I think we're just gonna be really excited to play a part in the Butler Boulevard, but also where we get to participate in something that we like. In general.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys as customers and as friendships, and we're a small family-owned and operated business, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
Can you take your phone away?
I got to open the gate. There's a worker here that needs
pizza deliveries here.
I just need to open the gate for more of my renovations.
Before we go, Harrison, have you ever seen anybody prouder of their gates than Haas?
I designed them. I'm very.
I heard about them and saw them every step of the way.
Just the technology.
Sent me photos.
The tech, how he's going to open the gate half and allow.
I'm not even finished with that.
I didn't even think that was possible.
I always barked down here when they first went up down at a call box. He's like, "Oh, just go to the top one. Just call me," because he wanted to show me the call box. It was
because I have to. It's not finished yet because I'm ordering more call boxes. Apparently, these call boxes, they're very expensive. The call box itself, but they're hard to get right now for some reason.
No one told you to get a call box designed by Elon Musk.
Well, I wanted 3 of them, and I want to be able to see who's there anytime. Also, see video when they hit the call box so I know who the fuck it is. Also, open it, from my phone, wherever I am here, because they can do it like just here or like wherever you are, right? To open it in.
I think it's genius. I mean,
well, it's like an apartment call box. Like that's what it is. It's like one of those multi-family residence things. But I had to get 3 of them, so only one had the call box. So there was a reason, Harry. I wasn't just trying to flex on my friends.
Check out the new gate, bro. We're up.
But I am proud of them because we designed them ourselves, and then even the materials. Like I spec the materials exactly, the actual physical design, the measurements, the columns, the electrical, everything. I mean, obviously, I'm very involved in all the things I do here at the house.
I think the outside's done. The outside, I don't think there's anything else you can do on the outside.
There's one more thing.
What?
Because this becomes a pond here, I have to do different drainage. So I'm considering doing all of this to turf.
A storm.
Yeah, yeah, you have. That's right.
Oh my God.
Either redoing the drainage, which is a real pain in the butt, or doing all of this, just this portion, the courtyard area, in turf.
Marble with the like you have over there with the grass.
Just straight or polished.
When it was storming that day, that pool turned into an infinity pool, and it's about 100 yards behind us.
There's a lot of water, so we have to do some drainage stuff, but that's more like necessity versus I just want to.
And now the indoor, he's working on that, which he's done a lot, but you still got more to go on.
I've got 2 more projects indoors. They're coming on Monday to do.
Are they permanently employed by you?
Pretty much. I swear to God, like 3 of the companies I work for, I am half of their revenue, like in a year, because they're here.
What are you going to do when you finish? You're just going to start redoing.
I might just
things?
sell the house.
Sell the house
to
and get a new one.
Find another project. I really might.
He's going to sell it.
The market's great. Like and honestly, like in this area for this type of house, like people are buying. Like in the $3 to $5 million range, there's a lot of sales happening.
Well, when Bill Gates is your neighbor, of course.
Bill Gates is not my neighbor.
Same thing. Arthur Blank.
Have
you bumped into him?
Oh, many times. Oh yeah, he doesn't walk as. I mean, it's kind of not sad, but like it just is what it is. He's getting on an age, and he used to walk like every day in the neighborhood, and he didn't go on the main road as much, because obvious reasons. But he would come down here, and he knows my kids by name. I rarely saw him because I don't walk around.
Did you approach him like a fanboy or just like, hey, I'm?
No, we're just like, hey, Arthur, He's very nice, super nice guy. And we would see his wife at the time. They got divorced, I think, a year or 2 ago. We don't see her anymore. But she was also really, really sweet.
How old is he?
I don't know, 87?
Who gets divorced at like 85? Come on, man. At that point, you just committed.
You're out the door.
Oh, well, she was younger. She was pretty young. She was like, 40s, 50s.
I'm getting my money.
Yeah, I got my money. I'm out. Go live my life.
No. I mean, we don't know.
We don't know anything.
But she was very
genuinely
sweet.
At 85 years old, it is for his decision to be like, but maybe he's like, I still have my life to live. I want to be single.
All I know is that as neighbors, they're really nice folks. Both of them were really nice, and I don't see them as much anymore. But we'd see them in the neighborhood and walk by them.
I mean, it's surprisingly peaceful out here. I mean,
well, that's the problem though, is that you have to like have a lot of property to make it feel super private.
You have to be off the road.
You have to be off the main road.
On one of those main roads, you're going to hear all day.
And you have to have like 10-foot walls. You have to have 10-foot walls, which is what I wanted for here, but I think we did an okay job, with...
Why didn't you do that?
I do like the fire pit area.
Because it's illegal for me to do that here. The Glade?
Yeah.
The Glade? Yeah. The Glade's great.
The fact that you've named all the areas. All
right, agreed. The Glade was not necessary, but I'm very happy we did.
What's this area called? Because you named
Which one? This is the Under Terrace.
The who?
Under Terrace.
He redid this shit twice.
This was all new. We built this and then we redid it.
Yeah, he did it, built it, and then redid it, and then he redid the deck on top.
Yeah, and we haven't done much to the screen porch up there.
The pool you haven't really had time to touch, which is good.
We finished the pool first, but the pool walls and the greenery around it, we had I'm still not done with that. I got to add some more plants.
Still mowing your own lawn and.
Oh yeah, I love it.
See, that's what washing my cars is. You mowing your lawn.
That's fair.
Would you mow your lawn?
If you had a lawn?
I don't have a lawn. I have a townhouse. So I have people that do it. But if I did, I would probably get obsessed to the point where I'd want to have like the perfect squares.
Do you have OCD? Like
I don't, but for certain
I don't
things,
either. But we get focused. Both of us are similar to this.
It's focused. Like I like to have.
We get super focused.
Like videos. That's why YouTube is great, because I can focus on that video for that time period. But like I'm either like all in or I'm like I don't even pay attention to it. So like if I did, I'd probably want to have like that really cool cut grass where it's like the perfect squares.
Like a soccer field.
not like the soccer field, but you'll see it over here where it's like
it requires so much maintenance.
Yeah,
to do
Honestly,
that.
I've always
like
wondered, is it like different heights of the blade?
Okay,
It's the way I think
yes,
they go one
but
way and then they come back
It's
the other
when
way.
you cut it a direction, then you come back the other way. It's like a grid.
But
when
you have to
mow.
come back spaced out.
Well, but the mower is
And then
spaced.
you miss one square and you're like, oh, man.
Well, the
Oh, you
mower
don't
is.
miss it.
First of all, you have a plan before you just go out and do it,
shaving
right?
your beard.
Second of all, the mower is spaced such a way that it also has lines and indicators of where you're going to put that line. So, I mean, my first company was a landscape company when I was in high school. So, I mean, I actually like and enjoy this stuff, but it takes so much, and I don't go to that degree. Plus, I have a drainage issue, so I just kind of gave up on part of the lawn.
Nice green over here.
Thanks. First of all, so we have zoysia, and right now it's in the green up period. So it's coming from dormant
it's
to
looking a little
green.
shabby.
It's coming from dormant to green. I have to dethatch.
Next week he's gonna.
I have to dethatch. I have to dethatch and fertilize, and then I have to spray the emergent herbicide for the stuff. Anyway, just trust me, guys.
He's getting all biological, scientific with us.
Seriously, I'm like a casual guy with it. Like it is a science.
I can appreciate it because.
Do you know how much it costs to make?
I've spent so much money on my backyard.
Do you know how much it costs to just maintain that once you get it?
I know exactly.
It's
and
like
you can ask,
$2,500 a month for just this area to maintain that. I'm like, hell no.
and the
It's not
thing
a value.
is that you either appreciate it or you don't. I mean, my fiance just
Peony.
Peony.
Shout out.
Peony.
What's the proper pronunciation?
Peony.
Peony.
Yeah, I get into trouble all
Peony.
the time. Yeah, peony.
Okay,
Like
peony.
the flower.
Shout out peony.
Yeah. For me, sitting outside just like this, entertaining and having a beautiful lawn or backyard is amazing. It's a
I love it
lifelong
too.
dream of mine. But, there's just some people that it just doesn't matter to.
They don't
Like
give a shit.
curb
Yeah.
appeal doesn't matter. But to me, but the amount of money that it takes to maintain, if you ever walk into somebody's backyard and
you're like, wow, it's perfect.
it's pristine.
Yeah, they've spent
that's
time and money on
right
it.
there.
Exactly.
The house
Exactly.
might look like shit, but if the lawn is well maintained, they spent some dough. Some serious.
Well, it's funny because I didn't care much about curb appeal. I like privacy. So once I'm in it, I want to enjoy it. Like I don't want anyone to look at me ever on the outside of my house.
Yeah.
I want my house to be nondescript. The front of our house is pretty nondescript. The areas around it are, like 7-8 feet of trees and walls and stuff like
it's
that.
pretty private. I mean,
That's all I'm going for is
and it's
privacy.
all elevated. So I mean,
Yeah, we built those walls there so this would be flat.
oh yeah, you did the driveway too.
Oh my God.
I forgot about
Dude,
that.
I lived in a mud pit for a year. It was terrible. We built all of this. We raised it there, put 15-foot concrete walls there. That's not cheap either, but we
Dumping
designed
money
it.
into this for 3 years now.
Correct. 4 now. I'm still the money, so it's 4 years. But that's the other thing is that I enjoy, like you said, I enjoy the projects, and like Harry said, he does the same thing. Like we get focused on one thing, and then you move on to the next one. And I've just
I've been focused on the house for.
but see, for me, it's not one project.
I had to distract
it's
you with
individual.
a car to get you away from the house for a few days.
And then the house needed more attention.
Get a fun car. Come on. I'm gonna get a new car. You get a new car.
Yeah, but that's the fun stuff. And now we're in the green up period. It's gonna look great in a little bit.
Did you sell the Raptor, by the way?
I did. He sold his Raptor, so like I don't need my Raptor anymore. We're like a Raptor brothers. And then I'm still pissed. We did the wrap to be the same color. We chose the color together, everything, and then he fucking sold it
Man,
like
you
a week
fucked him
before I
good.
got my car back.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
okay.
He had a whole plan, and you just.
But I understood it. It wasn't like fuck you for doing it. It was like I get it. I get Harry. I get why.
But
and it
listen,
makes
you know
sense.
what the best thing about it is that the car's still local. And
Yeah, our
so-
buddy Mo,
Yeah,
who's
I
been on the
mean,
pod.
yeah.
He has it and he loves it. He's getting into
And
it.
I'll say I don't miss it. I mean,
I don't think you
sadly.
love that car
ownership-
like you love the R8.
The
I
ownership
like the R8
experience,
more, yeah.
it was different. Yeah, for
And
sure.
even the GT3 though, I love that when I've owned it. Like I would just always can't wait to drive it, and so that's why the RS I knew that I was gonna want to get into one, and that's why I did it so quick. Because I was like, I'm not putting any more money into this car, even though I put a lot in already. But because I want something else, like not that I want something else, but I want that. I'm like, I either want it all or I don't want it all. Like I want to be all in. I don't want like the
I get
base
it.
model. I want the premium model. So like the RS is just like.
And it wasn't that much more. It just didn't happen timing wise. But
What's
it's
above
not,
the RS? It would just be the
well,
2.
it's GT2 RS.
The
And I
GT
was advised by a lot of people at the track said don't do it.
What's the difference between the 2 RS?
720
It's just a
horsepower
monster, dude.
and 500 horsepower.
Yeah, I mean it's a big. But unless you're tracking, you're not going to really get the benefit of that. right?
And you can't even you have to be a certain caliber driver to even get that out of that car.
To get a few more seconds, like from the GT3 RS to the GT2 RS, you have to be a professional driver and be doing that all the time to get, honestly, a modicum of a difference. You know, it is a difference.
I drove their 2RS. It
doesn't sound as good.
Phenomenal car.
You don't think the 2RS sounds as good?
It's turbo. It's not.
Well, I don't look. You can't argue with me because I don't think any Porsche sounds good, but except for the Carrera GT. The Carrera GT sounds fantastic, but no regular Porsche sound good.
Straight pipe GT3 RS.
Sounds like farts. Sounds like farts.
So what exhaust are you putting on?
Fab Speed.
Fab Speed did a custom exhaust for
I have
him.
headers, side muffler deletes, and
Those are good people too. Fab Speed.
they're
Yeah.
good people,
Super nice guys.
They've taken care of me since the R8.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe we gotta have them on the next pod.
I got.
All right, Fab Speed.
Yeah.
Let's do a sponsorship after the Butler sponsor.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And then FI, and then we got Vossen.
No, we can't talk about any other if we're going for Fab Speed.
Well, FI hit me up and said they really love my video because I recently did an exhaust video, and they're like, "Do you mind if we promote this?" And I was like, "Sure, just
Tag me.
I mean, anyway. But thanks for stopping by, guys. Hope you enjoyed it today.
Thanks for having me.
Danny, thanks for coming. And
See you guys Sunday.
We'll see you on Sunday. Danny will be there.
Hopefully my car will be here.
We're hoping.
There's
Are you
no
going to
way
have
it's
both
not.
out there or just one?
Depends if Nick
I
wants
know
to go.
Harrison comes out and flexes, on
Sometimes.
I
everybody.
do not go out and flex.
It's the FLEXCAST. This is a flex-free zone.
Hoss used to arrive in 7 different cars. Used to be calling his family.
Well,
Hey, you want to drive a car?
Well, to me, it's again because I like the energy and communal aspect of it. Like to me, if it wasn't like a bunch of buddies, I wouldn't go. I don't give a shit about that. But it does seem like a flex. But this is a flex-free zone. It's the FLEXCAST, obviously. There's no flexing. It's just
I
us
think
talking
it's cool
back.
to see people, once a month that you haven't seen, and I love it from that aspect.
Well, I see you every fucking week because
Yeah.
the shit that I do.
And I just go hang out with Hoss the whole time. I just walk around with Hoss and Nick. So.
Yeah.
And
So
I meet a lot of viewers. I probably meet 20, 30 viewers, and that's with me hiding. So
yeah.
I'm
But
sure.
now, if you want to meet Harry or have a chance to see him and wave to him,
I know
come
that
out
took
Sunday.
some convincing.
and I'm not gonna blow anybody off. I will say hi to everybody that comes up.
He's
to me.
great with it.
But I just avoid being the center of
It's
attention.
an energy thing. It's not like, I'm too good or I don't want to talk to people. He is gracious with everybody who he's ever met. I've been there for all of it, right?
I think the perception is that people think that, he's a YouTuber or he's famous, I can't approach him, but to be honest, any person that you approach, if they're an asshole back to you, then they deserve to be called an asshole and they deserve to be called out. But generally, anybody that you do approach, if you're respectful of their space and their time like you would be anybody else, I don't see why anybody should be an asshole.
You got to read the room. Like if you can tell from body language, from what's happening, like maybe one interaction, but hanging
eating with
around
their family.
yeah, exactly. If you're eating with your family, go fuck yourself. Come on. Even me,
I've had that happen a lot in different. I had in Miami. I had kids saw who I was, where I was, because I posted a story of the sky, and he figured it out, and he ran up to the restaurant, this really nice rooftop restaurant, and in the middle of eating, he came up and was like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" And I was like, he was a younger kid.
he didn't say no, but still,
I didn't say no, but
that's a faux pas, is what we're
and
saying.
my parents my parents that's cute, whatever. But if it was just me and my boys or my wife, it's okay, we're trying to get away a little bit.
So anyway, don't run up on us, but
We'll see you Sunday.
come say hi. We'll see you on
Say
Sunday.
hi. We're not,
Don't run up. Don't
we're not
like,
anybody special either. It's
We
we're
haven't
normal
said
people.
Yeah, but anybody running up on me, I have a different mentality about someone running up on me. Like
I know you're a gun guy,
Yeah, exactly. Like, yo, me and Steve are like, hey, slow your roll. But if you're just coming friendly, like, hey, what's up? And that's cool, totally cool.
But we didn't even tell anybody where it is, but it's at Perimeter Mall in Dunwoody.
It's fair.
Is it Dunwoody?
Our assumption was that Caffeine and Octane. I mean, if you
Just
look it up,
If
Yeah.
you could
It's
put it
Perimeter
on
Mall, though.
Facebook, Instagram,
Perimeter Mall in
everything.
Dunwoody / Sandy Springs. I don't know what it's
Yeah,
called
and it's
these
from
days.
8 to 11 every first Sunday of the month. So
Yep.
even if you don't make it out,
But this one, because of Easter, it's the second Sunday.
yeah, it's the second Sunday, so they delayed it. It's one of the first times, and also 4th of July, which is a day after my wedding, which is crazy. 90 days away.
Wow, 90 days.
Can't wait.
Wow.
I really
Okay.
like. Yeah, seriously.
Get on the
And you know what's so
Viagra
funny is that we were obsessed with that show. The two, me and my
Yeah,
fiance.
I heard about it. The 9 day.
Yeah,
Big
and
Ed.
I just think it's hilarious.
With
you
Big
know?
Ed?
Yeah, Big Ed.
I don't know who that is.
But anyway, I mean, even
so.
4th of July, they're hosting a show.
Wait,
but
what was that show that you used to make fun of me? That the guy who looked like me on? Well,
Impractical Jokers. He looks
no,
like
no,
Sal.
not that one. No. The one that one that
Oh,
it was like a wedding show.
yeah,
thing.
Mark from Too Hot. No, Too Hot to Handle, or no, it was
no, it wasn't that. It was
were you
like
on The Bachelor?
It was no.
Love is Blind. Love is Blind.
I was say it's like a 90 Day Fiancé. There's a Love is Blind.
Harry, what are you doing watching Love is Blind?
Quarantine. Me and my wife were bored. This is prime.
But this is also at the time where, like, you know, a couple of my buddies made fun of me, and then the other guys were like, "Oh, I'm curious." And they looked at it like, "Oh, they started watching the show with their wives and stuff all the
I
time."
think it was like Sal from Impractical Jokers.
But what was your
It's
quarantine
hilarious.
show? Your go to when we were in lockdown?
The Tiger King.
I've never seen that.
Tiger
I
King.
can watch shows
Never
with
seen it.
animals.
Tiger King, and then I watched that Love is Blind. We watched Too Hot to Handle, Love Island. I got in all of those.
What about you?
I didn't watch any of that stuff.
He would
Bro,
just
I
be
got
like, Harry,
obsessed.
come over.
I was out trying to get my friends to come hang out.
Bro.
Like Harry and I just every day we did something
We got into
during
Survivor.
quarantine. We quarantined together basically.
Yeah, we watched
Until you
Survivor
gave me
from
COVID.
like the 2000s.
I didn't give you COVID. I didn't give us COVID.
I think you did.
No, Steve gave us COVID.
No, bro.
Ross got it again.
Yeah, the worst
I got
part
it
was seeing you
See, I
post a video in Florida out on the boat. It's the middle of the pandemic, and then like 3 weeks later, it's like,
later, we have
anybody heard from Haas? Things got corona. No shit.
I went back and watched your video of you getting corona for like 2 seconds. You're like, hey guys, I had COVID. You're so down.
it's
Your energy
terrible.
is horrible.
I mean,
Well,
you
the
can,
thing
if
is-
you've ever known me, like it was very clear how coronavirus affected me.
Yeah, your video though posted like and I'm sure that you got more views on that than a lot of your other videos, but it was a harsh reality because you
And it was
had heard,
2 weeks. It was a good almost 2 weeks after I had first gotten it, where I was dying. I couldn't
Yeah,
do
I watched
anything.
that and didn't leave the house for at least like 3 weeks.
Dude, it was 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
Like I had corona, and I was on the mend, but I
And then
was
you
so
got it
bad.
again? But
Yeah,
then
but
it
the second time was no big
yeah,
deal.
it was mild.
But when I first got it, like I was talking to Harry and Steve, like I barely could even muster up the energy to like lift up my phone. I didn't leave the bed. I didn't eat for 4.5 days.
I'd call him every day to see if he's alive.
Yeah, it was
I
that
was
bad.
also freaking out because I was stressed about me having it. So I would call him.
But you're good. I mean, you wear your mask. This is like the only time that I ever see you without a mask is on
Yeah.
FLEXCAST or on your videos.
I just don't want to go through the stress of it again, just worrying if I'm going to get sicker. Like,
I mean, I wear it too. It's just that sometimes it just
Not
happens
like that.
Well, no, I mean I don't wear it in my own house. Harry does.
Post COVID, I wore it normally after COVID, even when I was within the like range of not being able to get it again. I still wore it.
Yeah.
Because I was worried that I could get it again.
It's also respectful of others. That's why I do
yeah.
it. I'm being respectful. When I wear a mask, it's for others.
And now my wife's got her first dose, and I don't know if
the
I thought
vaccine.
this was a second dose.
it's her first dose.
Yeah.
The first dose is nothing, bro.
She's gonna be fine, but just in case, I was making sure she was
Just
all
go
good.
flick her on the arm, bro.
No, she just texted me and she said I didn't realize how much my arm hurt until I tried to move it.
Yeah, bro,
Yeah.
you can lift it.
Yeah.
I remember my first shot, I
Ugh.
got bumped on it. I couldn't move for 3 days.
I'd rather have Corona again than deal with that.
There's a study out that says if you've had corona, you only need one shot of the vaccine. You don't need both Pfizer's or Moderna's. So because of
And then
how your
J&J
body
is coming out with a one shot.
Yeah, well, that's only
I don't
like
know.
67% or something. Listen,
I'm not doing
I
any
got both
shots.
shots. I thought the second shot was going to take me down. Didn't affect me at all. Got it. You know what? Just to have the peace of mind. I still wear my mask everywhere. I still social distance. But just the peace of mind of knowing that if I do get it, it won't be as bad as maybe what you
The
went
first time
through.
I got it was horrible.
And
I don't wish that on anybody.
That's why I wear a mask, because I've had it where like with my close friends, like we're all hanging out together and they're like, oh, you don't have to worry about it. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm gonna wear it. It's all good. We can still hang out the same. And
Yeah.
then like I'll hear 2 days later they had COVID. They got COVID, and I'm like, I don't have to stress about it like I would have if I didn't wear a mask.
It's not worth it. Why?
because
would you?
in the stress part is you have to tell to tell my parents,
Everybody
if I
you
saw
had in
them,
contact
your
with.
friends.
Yeah.
You got to tell everybody, oh, I got COVID, and then they're all freaking out. I got to get tested.
But we're at the
As if you
point.
got like a disease, like not a disease, but like you shunned by society, and it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, listen, some people can't help but be out and be active and be out there, but if you are, there's two trains of thought, right? There's people who believe in the mass, and then people who believe in their freedom. And for me, I agree with you. I agree with you, Haas. I do it first of all to protect other people, and,
Yeah.
and to
I mean,
protect
I'm a
myself.
big fan of freedom in every way. Like my whole life as an entrepreneur is about like, fuck you, I'll do what I want. At the same time, I'm also a considerate human being, so anyway, before we get into that, I've been trying to end the FLEXCAST for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, guys. I'm just so excited
Danny's
to
like,
be
I'm
here.
gonna keep going.
Yeah, I'm just so excited to be here, and actually I've turned my phone off because it's just blowing up, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
Sign off.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Danny. Appreciate it. You guys can find Danny at _Danny.
No, Danny_Butler.
Danny _ well, I mean, we'll put it in there.
Yeah.
And then you
Right
guys
here, or
know
there.
this fucking guy. Steve will come back next time, and for Haas, Harry, and
Hopefully I did a good
absent
job for Steve, you know.
Yeah. Well,
At least I have a car that I could drive.
exactly. At least you have your car. But thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you next time.